Hey family, and welcome to the Family Meeple. I'm Raymond, and this is something I'm very excited about. It is a sneaky peek of what is to come in Marvel United Season 3. This is, of course, the Spider-geddon box set. This is completely standalone, so if you haven't got into any Marvel United at all, then this basically surpasses your need to purchase the original Marvel United box, the X-Men Marvel United core box. This is a completely standalone core box, and will sit alongside the Season 3 core box, and that gets released later this year, arriving to Kickstarters around July, I think it's current prediction and forecast. It will coincide with, of course, the new DC Superheroes United. Various reasons as to why they had to change the name in that, but this is what I'm excited for. Okay, so Spider-geddon then. This brings us, of course, many of the characters that we saw in the latest animation from Sony. So this was I believe, Across the Spiderverse. So yeah, we will have things in here such as Penny Parker, Spider-Punk, Spider-Man Noir, as well as the main villain in that film, spoilers, Spot, and how he manipulates his maneuverability across the board as you're trying to take him down, take out his foes and whatever it is that is in his threat deck and his master plan, which I have no idea what it is, because although I have seen some playthroughs, I've not recorded that stuff in my memory. So this is, of course, coming from Eric Lang from Spin Masters and Simon. So let's dig in. I have literally got as far as cutting open the main box. So we are, of course, as soon as you open it, greeted with the main rulebook. So we can open this up. Not tremendously thick, so that's great. So nice and easy to get through. So I have had a quick read through here just to re-familiarise myself with the main rules, but you can see the mass of content you get. It is truly tremendous. Yeah, I mean, I gave up waiting for this to arrive in the UK. It will come to the UK at some point in the future. I went ahead and I purchased this. Apologies for all those green coats out there. I did purchase this from Amazon.com in America. I had it shipped across, and even so, it still worked out cheaper than trying to buy a copy in the UK. So there it is. So, like I say, tremendous amounts of content, as you can see. Lots of new cards, lots of new features as a kind of taster, if you will, of what is to come in Season 3. So you get the full 8 locations. Like I said, this is a core box, the mission guide, the mission cards, the villain dashboard, the master plan cards, the hero cards, as well as new to this. We've got a bunch of battle cards, super villain and superhero cards. We get the various bits in here around villain delay and accelerated cards, and not just the invulnerable token, but actually you get a random token as well, and then there are specific character tokens that we'll get, so like the spider bots, the target tokens, and the spot tokens. So let's, without further ado, dig in. So as I say, I literally just opened up, so there's nothing pushed. So yeah, I think you see all the wonderful plethora of tokens you get, of course, in the main core box. So we have our thugs and our threats, we have our crisis tokens and our health tokens for all the villains and their henchmen that we're going to be facing, as well as this is a random card token, as I mentioned earlier. Of course, the flip side of that then would be the invulnerable token. So if you draw a card that says that you can't be damaged for the next turn, or until your turn comes back around, whatever it is. That's why that token has come into play for your main character. And then we have, again, very, very familiar tokens here with the wild tokens, the attack, move, and heroic feats. And then, of course, we have the stun, so that means that the villain cannot activate their main BAM effect. We have these accelerate and decelerate tokens to put on the villain deck, so indicate interaction with that. We have the spot tokens, so again, I don't recall the full details, but I think it'll be something along the lines of where these are, they'll be flipped over, so they'll be randomly determining where Spot will appear in his various maneuvers around the board. We have the target tokens, and these belong to Spider-Man Noir, and the Spider Bot tokens, so I believe the Scarlet Spider, I believe. But let's dig in and have a look. This is one of the key things, of course, that we are here for. And I just say, I did really like, so I got as far as opening this much into the box, and no further. So what I really did like, was the attention that they paid to have. I can't even put it back together now. There it is. Right. All of that for this. The Marvel United logo, I don't know if you can see there, it kind of makes it almost 3D. Oh, there you go. Yes, you get this kind of effect here. So this is all. So yeah, the Marvel and the United are engraved, embedded, enamelled, embossed. That's the word, embossed into this, and yeah, and it's perfectly fit with the location guard. Really like that. I'm a sticker for attention to detail, and that was a beautiful piece of attention to detail. So very impressed and liking that, guys. Okay, so we have, as I mentioned at the beginning, we've got 8 new locations, so I'll take a look at those in detail and what they bring. We have the mission board, which of course we've all seen and love. So the villain dashboard would sit here, and you have your various missions below. I have got a filter coming to my spotlight, should be arriving tomorrow. Long time overdue, so apologies folks, but hopefully that will be dealt with moving forward. Here we go, and then we've got the villains that we can face off against. So let's have a look. Who have we got as the main villains? So the main villains then, of course, is Spot. So let me see if I can get a flick to my camera now. What I've done is I've turned off my green screen just so we can, if there was any green on here, then you can see this fully. And apologies for any blur is not coming through, so we'll do as best as we can. Okay, so here we have then the special rules for Spot. So we'll just flip over, in fact. So he has got some special setup. So if you are playing a 5-player game of Marvel United, you can have one player playing the villain and the other people playing heroes fighting against the villain, and then that player playing the villain will be using the villain deck, but choosing which card and which master plan card is putting into the storyline to make it much more difficult and deterministic, I guess, as to what the heroes are going to be facing off against. So we've got special setup. So place one random Spot token face up in each location. So just get those back out from card. This was the what we were looking at earlier. So these are the Spot locations. Okay. So when they go face down, they are just that, a spot. Okay. So that's how that works. Place a number of crisis tokens on Spot's villain dashboard based on the number of heroes. So 2 heroes, 3 crisis tokens, 3, 4, and 4, 5. And if you are playing the supervillain, then the heroes get the following starting tokens. They get 2 moves and an attack. Okay, so special rules for Spot. What will Spot be doing? So Spot has health equal to, for a 2-player game, 2, 3 for 3 for 4. Okay, so not massively hoopy and powerful that you have to deplete lots of life when you eventually get to being able to wound him, so that's good. And his special rules are, if there are any crisis tokens here on this board, when the Spot would take 1 damage, remove a crisis token instead, and move Spot to the location with the next Spot token in alphabetical order with no heroes. Each damage is resolved separately when a hero is KO'd before activating Spot. Bam! Additionally, draw a master plan card and place it face down in a storyline. A is the next Spot after token F. So in short, when you are attacking him, as soon as you hit 1 point of damage, he immediately teleports, removing a crisis token from here. So you're going to have to play tag and chase around the locations before you can even cause him any damage. Hence, he only has like 4 points of damage because you need to get to that point of defeating these crisis tokens. When he bams, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in Spot's location. If there are no heroes there, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in the location with the next Spot token in alphabetical order with any heroes. Okay? And then overflow, in the event of overflow, so overflow of civilians and thug tokens, can't be added to the location, deal 1 damage to each hero in that location. So straight attack. Okay, so that's how Spot works. So very much chasing him down, playing tag. And the other hero, who we are yet to see, I believe, it's not one that I'm familiar with, but on the assumption of what we've seen thus far, if you recall, in the original, Marvel United, there of course was the Red Skull, who we'd seen in the films. There was, who else came with the Red Skull? I'm trying to think now. So there was the Red Skull, it was Ultron, who we'd seen in the Avengers film, and of course there was Taskmaster. And at the time, I went back and watched the interview videos, and people were like, why are they including Taskmaster? Well, obviously they've got a plan. And of course then we saw Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie. So yeah, so that's where Taskmaster. So Marvel, Disney knew what they were doing. They were very clear in their instructions to Simon and Spin Master as to which characters they wanted to see. So we had Spot in this one, who we've seen now in Sony's movie, and of course we also then have Morlun. I say of course, we have Morlun. Now I've not come across Morlun, and again forgive me, I'm not a massive follower of the comics. The movies have really stirred and inspired me. I've read some of the comics, and certainly the sort of Marvel Zombies. I went through all the Marvel comics because there's only a number of them. As where Marvel comics have been running for decades. Well, there was over half a century now, I'm sure. So yeah, I'm not massively familiar with all the characters. Morlun is not one that I'm familiar with. But let's take a look at him. So, special setup. Okay, so set aside the Life Force Absorption Master Plan card. So there'll be a Master Plan card in the box here. Okay. And then place it on top of the deck after shuffling it. Loam Weld must be the villain's starting location. Okay. Sims Tower must be the location opposite the villain's starting location. And again, if you're playing super villain, then the heroes will start with a wild and a move and a punch. So let's have a look. So 5 life if you've got 2 heroes fighting him, 6 for 3 and 7 for 4. And his special rules are: when a hero is KO'd, any henchman in their location gains 1 health, may go above starting value, so you definitely want to be watching for that. Then that hero is removed from the game Wow. Discarding any of the crisis tokens and replaced with a new hero in the hero starting location of that player's next turn. Okay, when he bans, he deals 2 damage to one hero in Morlon's location, and in the event of overflow, deal 1 damage to one hero in that location. If there are no heroes there, then add a civilian thug to the next clockwise location, empty slots instead. So which is definitely one where we could really see that overflow kicking in. And the villainous plots, the heroes lose if 4 heroes are removed from the game. Wow. Okay? So, when a hero is KO'd, any henchman in their location gains 1 health, and then that hero is removed from the game. So you need to watch for being KO'd, 4 heroes removed from the game, and Morlon wins. Okay, now we do have, in this set, as well as those core villain characters that we've come to know and love, and of course they are featured in red. Let's have a look, see if they can, how well they get picked up on that camera there. So, yeah, there's more, and of course we have Spot. I particularly like the Spot character. So you've actually got this this sort of torpedo that's disappearing into him and reappearing from another spot, as of course we saw portrayed in the movie animation across Spider-Verse. So we also then have these wonderful purple characters. So we have Superior Spider-Man and Anit-Venom. So these are the two that you'll be able to play either as heroes, and you'll have a full deck of cards that we have to play as heroes, or of course you can face off against them as villains. So let's have a look and see what's so special, other than of course these amazing minis. What is so special about these guys? Let's do Anit-Venom first. So special setup. Set aside the Cleansing Master Plan card and place it on top of the deck after shuffling it. Team versus team mode. The villain tracker starts on 2. Okay, so this is a specific villain that we can face off against, specifically when using this team versus team mode. So really interesting start. Something I haven't actually tried out yet. Team versus team mode was introduced with the X-Men Season 2. Marvel United, and I haven't got that far yet in my playing, so that's why I'm not venturing into that. And if you play against a super villain, then you get a move and a heroic feat and an attack. Health wise, then he has 4 hit points for 2 players, 6 for 3, and 8 for 4. Special rules: whenever a hero card with a special effect is discarded or turned face down, increase the Anit-Venom track by 1. So this is villainous plot track that we've got going here, and again you've got the variability on the length of that depending on the number of players, is what we're seeing portrayed there. When he bans, each hero in Anit-Venom's location must discard 1 card with a special effect from their hand. If they have none, then they take 1 damage and must turn face down one of their cards with a special effect in the storyline if possible. Okay. So yeah, so special effects are a big thing for Anit-Venom, and in the event of overflow, must discard 1 card with a special effect in their hand. If they have none, they take 1 damage and must turn face down one of their cards with a special effect in the storyline if possible. So it's all about those special effects cards, and of course some of these I've seen in other heroes, where you'll have a card that will say, so long as this card is face up in the storyline, you gain a benefit as a special effect card. So of course, if that then gets turned down, you lose that benefit straight away. So yeah, so they're going to be particularly impacted there by Anit-Venom. And then of course we have Superior Spider-Man, and I love it. I just love all those arms. Cool. So special setup: place the set of 3 Superior Spider-Man mission cards next to a playing area for him to add tokens 2. Okay. Place 1 Spiderbot token in both locations, 2 locations away from the villain starting one. Keep the threat tokens in a side pool. Okay. Heroes are starting playing against him as a super villain. The heroes start with 4 tokens. That gives you an idea how difficult this is going to be. Okay, so let's have a look. So health, 4 for 2 players, 5 for 3 players, 6 for 4 players. Special rules. When a hero is KO'd, Superior Spider-Man doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, place 1 threat token on his Clear Threats mission card. When Superior Spider-Man rescues either a civilian or defeats a thug, place a token on the corresponding mission card. Heroes can remove a Spider-Bot token from their location by spending either a heroic feat or a thug attack token. Okay, so when he bans, so basically what he's doing then is he is effectively competing with the heroes. So as the heroes are going around, they're trying to complete their missions in order to attack Superior Spider-Man. So remember, you've got to clear 2 missions in order to attack him. What Superior Spider-Man doing is basically he's trying to evidence that he is superior than the heroes in doing the job. Okay, so he is going around and he is defeating thugs, he is rescuing civilians, and he is putting me on his own mission boards. So, villainous plot, the heroes lose if Superior Spider-Man completes 2 of his missions. So we've got to complete 2 of ours to attack him, he's going to complete 2 of his to win the game. Let's have a look, how is that going to happen? So, the BAM effect, deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Superior Spider-Man's location, and do 1 damage to 1 hero in each adjacent one. Okay, so he's got those multiple arms reaching out and causing that damage and attack. Rescue 1 civilian and defeat 1 thug in each location with a Spider-Bot. So it's using those Spider-Bots to go out there and do his work. And then, if there are no Spider-Bots in Superior Spider-Man's location, then add 1 there. Otherwise, add it to the next clockwise location. So let's just remind ourselves then. So these are the Spider-Bot tokens we're talking about. So when he comes into play, you'll have 2 of those on the board. You have the option to defeat those or remove those as heroes. So you can either do a heroic feat, effectively just rescuing it, or you could do a punch, attack, and take it out completely. But either way, they'll just go back to his pool, and he can then, whenever he bams, he's putting those Spider-Bots back out either in his location or the neighbouring locations, continually spawning these, and it's these that will assist him in rescuing those civilians and defeating those thugs when he bans. So they are what you're going to be fighting against on his behalf, as it were. And then in the event of overflow, it can't be add it to the corresponding Superior Spider-Man's mission card instead. Ouch! Okay, so overflow goes straight to his missions. 2 of those missions down, you're lost. Wow, that's just, and again, folks, one of the things that just continually blown away with this game is the core mechanics that we were introduced to in Season 1. Just really did lay that foundation on what we are seeing now with Season 2, and now with Season 3, and this is that sneak peek of everything we've got coming in Season 3. They really have just pushed the boat out. I love the variation and the changing in these mechanics. Just absolutely continue to keep it fresh. Keep your mind going, okay, what is it I need to do? How do I need to defeat this? How do I need to control it, lock it down? Love this game. Okay, so, of course, what we have then is as well as those miniatures, we have decks of cards. And there are lots of cards. And, of course, small cards. Okay, so let's dig in. Grab my trusty scalpel. I always find this a bit of, I don't like having to dig in knives into packed cards. I always appreciate when a publisher gives you that little tab and make it easier to open decks of cards, but it is what it is, folks. Okay, so them's the apples, as they say. Okay, and we'll open up the other one here, dig in and hopefully not stab myself in the process. There we go. Okay, so that's all our main big cards. And whilst we're here, let's get those mini cards. There it is. Fantastic. And of course, guys, please finally let me know if you want to see me playing these guys, if there's any particular heroes you want to see, if there's any particular villains you want to see me play up against. Please do drop me something in the comments below. Let me know what it is you want to see. Okay, so we have got let's have a quick peek at the baddies we've just been running through, shall we? Okay, so we've got our usual mission cards, which we've come to love and see get in the game. So the standard game mission cards that we're all used to: defeat 9 thugs, defeat 9 civilians, and clear 4 of the 6 threats. So we've got those because, again, folks, remember this is a complete core box. So everything you've seen before is in here as the foundational aspects of playing this game. And then, of course, we have, as we were just talking about there, the superior Spider-Man mission cards. So he also will be trying to defeat 9 thugs, rescue 9 civilians, and clear 4 threats. So that's his card there. As we've come to see with many, I don't know if it's all, but certainly many of the additional boxes that we've come over the last few years, we get additional challenges. So we get some challenge cards. The basic ones, of course, that are in here, as in all the core boxes, are remove a wild card to make it slightly more difficult, remove a double wild to make it extra more difficult. And there is a new aspect to Marvel United introduced in Season 3, which is the equipment card. So, having just covered that hard challenge, let us go on to... these. No, we'll save it for when we go around the heroes. They're a big deal, guys. They're a big deal. Okay, so what else have we got? We've got these superhero cards. Now, I did come across these in the rules, and I confess and apologies, I couldn't quite figure it out as to how these work. So, my understanding is you shuffle them up, and then I think you just deal 1, and at some point during the game, the hero can activate that 1. And then there are likewise, if you are playing the villain, so if you're actually playing the villain rather than the game playing the villain, then there are, of course, super villain cards as well, which effectively act as the contrary to. So, possibly, or maybe even make it easier, perhaps. Lessen the impact of the villain, perhaps. So to rescue. To the rescue trigger, another hero is about to take damage during a villain turn. So that's the trigger for playing this card. The effect, you take the damage instead and gain a heroic token. So it's a way of subverting the damage and rescuing another hero, preventing them from taking the damage. You've got various things in here. So overflow triggers in your location. Overflow triggered in your location. The effect is the trigger, and the effect is cancel the overflow. So you've got various things like this. So taking you with me. So trigger is you're KO'd. The effect is delay the next villain turn card by 1. So there's various bits and bobs in there that effectively aid the heroes. And if I recall correctly, the supervillain cards were the opposite, I believe. So the villain, so misdirection trigger is you play a master plan card. that means you would add any civilians or thugs, and then the effect of this particular card is add these, splitting them as you wish in your and adjacent location. So it's an ability to be able to disperse where they're going to be, so you've misdirected. So there's all these sorts of things, effectively lessening the power and the capability of the super villain. So, yeah, I couldn't quite get my head around these rules the first time. I've not used those cards before. I'm fairly sure there was a similar set, if not the same set, introduced in the season 2 in the Marvel United X-Men. And as I say, I haven't got as far as venturing into that set yet either. So I haven't got as far. Okay, so what else have we got here? So we've got the super villain cards. So the super Spider-Man, superior Spider-Man, with multiple limbs. Do you know what, guys? I don't normally look through these, I have to confess. So let's look. Spider-Bot army. So in the event of a BAM, if there is no Spider-Bot token in this location, add one here. Otherwise, add it clockwise to the next location. So, wow, really driving home the spawning of those bots. Two of those. Unparalleled genius. So if he lands here, each hero in this and adjacent locations must turn face down one of their face-up cards with special effects in the storyline. When this is cleared, each hero can turn face-up one of their face-down cards in the storyline. One of them. He lands here, accelerate the next villain turn by one card. When this thread is cleared, delay the next villain card by one turn. And then unstable behaviour, two of these. So as long as this thread is in place, Superior Spider-Man can't be damaged. The heroes cannot win the game. So you've got two of those absolutely going to be cleared in your top 4 threat cards that you need to deal with. So let's have a look. We've got any specials in here we need to be aware of. We do indeed. Let's have a look. So he stays where he is. I am superior. Add one Spider-Bot token to Superior Spider-Man's location, and to the opposite location if there are no Spider-Bots there. Then deal 1 damage to each hero in locations with a Spider-Bot, and spawn 6 tokens, so thugs and civilians. We have 2 of those that are the same. Otherwise, his others are move 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, putting out various guises of civilians and thugs throughout. Okay, so that's his deck. So let's move on to Anit-Venom. So Anit-Venom, as you remember him mentioning, has a starting master plan card. So as he comes into play, this will be his first card. Even if you are playing with actually playing the villain, this still stands true. So this will always be his first card. Cleansing, so he will move 3, which will remove him to the hero's location. One hero in Anit-Venom's location must discard 1 card with a special effect from their hand if possible. This is no BAM effect, and he immediately puts out 3 thugs. So that's his opening gambit, if you like. There'll always be acting. Interesting that they've put those on there. Just check. No? Okay. Interesting. Okay. But I was just noticing on this, it says move clockwise to the next location, then a hero. So rather than a number, this is actually moving him around the board. An irrelevant number of numbers, he's looking for a hero. Okay, and then he will BAM and put out. And actually, I'll just have a look. There are ones with the sort of the standard numbers on there as well. Yes, we are seeing the normal number movements, but you will also get the reverse. Move counterclockwise to the next location with any hero. So effectively you've got a couple of these that are putting out the civilians versus putting out the thugs. And then as I've flashed up, he does also have, in addition to his starting card, then a special, which is move 3, symbiote mutation. Bring back in play a random already cleared threat in Anit-Venom's location, if possible, or in the next clockwise location without a threat. Now, I understand with these, when you're bringing back threats, and I'll need to double check it in the rules, my understanding with those is you still get the cleared threat. If you've cleared that threat, and you've got the award, the little token on your mission card to indicate you've cleared it, that still comes off. So you've still scored that, if you like, in terms of your missions, but the threat is effectively put back into play. That's my understanding of how that works, and you've got 2 of those to contend with. Okay, so here's threats then. Let's have a look. So we've got no henchmen. So what we have then is 2 sets of camouflage. So as long as 1 or more camouflage threats are in play, Anit-Venom ignores 1 damage each hero turn. Okay, so that's how that works. We've got 2 lots of body cleansing, so making that a bit more difficult to attack. So as long as this threat is in play, Anit-Venom can't be given any tokens of it at any time. She can't stun him or prevent him from doing his bam. If there's other tokens like that, cannot use those. And then 2, power negation. As long as this threat is in play, heroes can't move during villain turns. Okay, so if you have an ability that means you could move during a villain turn, and I think this is where you will see the equipment start to really come into play, then you cannot do that whilst that is in play. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's go on to the Unknown Mystery Man, for me anyway. Let's look. He has a Master Plan Start card. So he stays where he is, and he does Life Force Absorption. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, wow, okay, when a hero is KO'd, Morlan doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, he gains 2 health, may go above his starting value. Wow, okay, that's how that works. And if you recall, there, I think there's going to be potentially some thugs we're going to see with Morlan, and that's where he's really going to come into his own. So let's have a look. We've got a whole bunch of standard move and bams, lots of civvies, and a few thugs. They've got up to 5 movement there, and then we've got some specials. So let's have a look. We've got 2 sensing life force, so he'll move 3 and bam, and then give 1 crisis token to 1 hero in Mulan's at above adjacent locations, and both adjacent locations. Ouch. Okay, and then fierce hunting, so he'll move 1, and then damage dealt to heroes with crisis tokens turn is unpreventable, and then he'll do a bam, then all heroes with crisis tokens discard them. Wow. Okay, that's how that works, and let's look, here we go, and we've got some henchmen. So we start off with Bora. Has 3 life, and when bam, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in each adjacent location, or ignores damage, 1 damage in each hero turn. So you have to work hard. Only 3 life, but you have to work hard to defeat her. Okay, then Verna is 3 health, and when you bam, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in any location. Okay, so our choice. Bricks. So 4 health, and when bam, deal 1 damage to each hero in this location. Drelos? Is that Drelos or Demos? Anyway. Now, so this is an interesting one. First time I've seen this, a variable. So depending on the number of players, +1, that's how many hit points or life Deimos has. And when he bams, deal 2 damage to 1 hero in this location. If there are no heroes here, discard all civilians in this location instead. Okay, Genix, 4 life, and when bans, give 1 crisis token to 1 hero in this and each adjacent location. Then each hero with one or more crisis tokens takes 1 damage. Wow. Okay, so then that's neat. And finally, Khan. Khan? It's double A, it's going to be Khan. I think the A's and the R's are quite difficult to work out. So 4 health, and a bam, move this clockwise to the next location. What? With any heroes and no threat. Okay. But it's to the next location without any threat, right? If possible, then deal 2 damage to heroes in this location. Wow, so that's fairly tricksy. Okay, very interesting. Okay, and then of course we have wonderful spots. Really love the portrayal of Spot in the animation. Thought he did a fantastic job. And he was almost an accidental villain. I thought that was a really interesting portrayal. Something not generally seen time and time again, but yeah, really appreciated that. I thought it was great. Okay, so attack from the spotted dimensions. We've got 3 of these. So as long as this turn is in play, damage dealt to heroes during the villain turn is unpreventable. Okay. And then 3, you can't escape. Further flows triggered in this location, and there are no heroes here. Deal 1 damage to 1 hero in any location. Wow. Okay, so they are quite punishing. And let's have a look then. So he's got, oh my gosh, everything is a special. Wow. Right, so let's have a look. So again, we've got this movement clockwise, so move to the location, here we go, with the A spot token. So this is the thing that I said about him. So he is using these spots to move around the board, rather than using these numbers. It will be determined by these things. So we've got 2 A tokens, 2 B tokens, and he's bamming every time. 2 C tokens, 2 D tokens, 2 E, and 2 F. And that's it, that's what he does. So he's all about that jumping around. I suppose there's no way for him to gain more crisis tokens, making it more difficult to defeat. So once you get through them, folks, he is there, ready for the taking. Okay, so what have we got in terms of the heroes? Well, I tell you what, let's have a look at our mixed match. Folks, that we've just been looking at. Oops, here we go. Right, so Anit-Venom has a hero starting card, so let's have a look. Webbing Generation. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, if there are no moves at the bottom of the 2 latest hero cards of the storyline, you may perform 1 free move on your turn. That's a great card. Otherwise, we have our usual plethora of abilities. Excuse me. And then we have body cleansing. We've got 2 of these. Draw 1 card. Then 1 hero in your location may discard all their crisis tokens. Got to be very handy for those villains we've just been looking at. And then Anit-Venom Serum, 2 of these. Rescue up to 2 civilians, or defeat up to 2 thugs in your location, and then moves like that. So there's a good number of specials there. Okay, and then of course we have our Superior Spider-Man. If we are playing him as a hero, Spider-Bot. As long as this card is face up in the storyline on your turn, you may add 1 Spider-Bot token in this location. If there are none, once on each of your turns, you may use one of your heroic or attack tokens or symbols as if you were on a Spider-Bot location. So being able to transfer your attack through the Spider-Bot. That's pretty cool. He does have another starting hand card. Decoys. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, on your turn you may add 1 Spider-Bot. It's not the same. No, Spider-Bot decoys. Okay. Once per villain turn, you may discard one spider bot in your location to ignore 1 damage. Very cool, and it's got attack. Right feet. Okay. Okay, so we've got the usual plethora of move feet, move attack, heroic feat, attack, wild, double wild. We have special cards then, so we have the Genius Intellect. This turn you can treat all your action tokens as wild tokens, with a wild, and Parker Industries gain any combination of 2 tokens. Nice. And then move 2. And then he also has a bottom of the deck card. Again, certainly nothing that we saw in the original Marvel United Season 1. So, final understanding. If this card is in your hand, you must play it. At the end of this turn, you are KO'd. You may remove Superior Spider-Man from the game. If you do, on your next hero turn, choose another Spider-Man hero and enter play in any location. Okay, so that's how he works. Okay. So who else do we have? Look, I'm just have to see if I can identify all these now. Okay, that one. That one, so let's pull her up. Okay, so we have Silk sat on a gravestone. Very cool. Very cool. Leaping over a gravestone, perhaps. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so that's Silk. Okay. Let's have a look at her cards. So we've got heroic feat, movement feat, attack, move, heroic feat, attack, move, attack. We've got the wild and double wild. We have spider agility, which is a move and heroic feat. We've got claws, which is a move and attack. And then specials include Silk Sense. As long as this card is face up in the storyline once per villain turn, if a villain ends their movement in any location, you may immediately move to an adjacent one. If you do, ignore the first damage that you would take that turn. So this plays to that ability that we saw, so this is in the starting hand. If you want to get that in the storyline, but this again plays to that ability we saw from one of the villains saying you can't move in the villain's turn. And then the other starting hand card is Organic Webbing. As long as this card is faced with a storyline, if there are no movement at the bottom, the last 2 cards in the storyline, then you may perform a free move, and it gives you and your next a wild. That one works. Okay. So I'm guessing that's that one, but I'm going to leave that one for now just to make sure. Oh, maybe that's that one. I'm trying to work out who's who. Okay, so Penny Parker. This is an easy one, and it's a fantastic miniature. Look at this! I love it. Love it. Riding robots. Fantastic. And I'm sure it's not called a robot. I'm sure there's a name for it. And I apologise for those fans for not knowing it's her name. Okay, so see, so starting hand then, so reverse order, Penny Parker. As long as this card is face up with the storyline, you may ignore 1 damage during each villain turn. Very nice. And robot strength. Maybe it is called a robot. There you go. So attack. You may use 1 battery to deal 1 extra damage to an enemy you are dealing damage to this turn. So it's an attack. You think, what's a battery? Well, we will come on to that. So in fact, robot strength. We've got 2 of those. Specials include webs, so move, and then you may use a battery to gain a wild. There's an extra move, and we've got 2 of those. Wow, she's got loads of specials. Safety net. Rescue a civilian in your location. You may use a battery to rescue an additional civilian in your or an adjacent location with heroic feet as well. Two of those. Got the double wild, got a single wild, got a move and attack, move and heroic feat, and move and heroic feat. Wow, that's a very impressive character deck, and I think that's an appropriate segue to move on to what are these batteries. So, the recommendation is that when you start a character and they have equipment, then you remove the double wild. So that's to even up the gameplay of these equipment cards with the fact that you're using them in your deck, okay? In your deck as additional cards. So use on your turn this particular battery, activate the additional special effect on a webs, safety net or robot strength, the cards we just saw. You play this turn, then turn this face down, and they are all the same, okay? So that's how that works. You get 3 batteries, and then what does it say? Exhausted, remove this card from the game. So they're one-shot wonders, okay? So depending on the criticality and what you're particularly facing at that particular time, they may be absolutely detrimental to you being able to complete your particular scenario, campaign, mission, whatever it is you need. Okay, so that's how that equipment works. Okay, so let's have a look at Spider-Man Noir. So, starting hand card, the black suit. So, grab his mini. His mini is particularly tasty, I have to say. I love it. He's on that wall there with his grappling gun, looks like. I love that. And I've seen so many fantastic renders of this miniature online. There's even a window behind him. Oh, absolutely love it. Fantastic. So beautiful. Okay. I'm so excited. I've got hundreds of these to paint. I love it. Okay. So as long as this card is based on the storyline, if you are alone in your location, you may ignore 1 damage dealt by a threat in each villain turn. Very nice. It's all about him working solo. That is what's coming in there. Okay, Spider-Man Noir. It's the responsibility of the people. Take it away. So double attack against a villain with a target token in your or an adjacent location. Then discard 1 target token from that villain. Okay. And you think, well, what's a target token? So we've got 3 of those particular cards. Okay, and then here we go. So, Spider-Man Noir, if there is too much power, attach 1 target token to a villain in your or an adjacent location. And let me just flip out these, if you recall. So here we have the target locations, tokens for Spider-Man Noir. So that's what that's referencing there. Okay, so you have those tokens. And you have 3 of those cards, and each have a different main action that you can take. So I'll put those out. Then in addition to that, then we have the double wild and the single wild, and then we have a heroic and punch. We have move and heroic and a move and punch. Okay, so that's his deck. So who have we not got to yet? This is definitely got to be one of my absolute favourites. This for me, I mean, the others were impressive, but this for me absolutely sold me this box. Spider-Punk. Love it. Absolutely love Spider-Punk. That is such a, apologies, but kick-ass miniature. Absolutely, without shadow of a doubt. I love just stage diving with his guitar off of... see, we've got the pick in his hand. I love it. Sorry guys, I'm a guitar player. That for me is absolutely flipping phenomenal. Fantastic. I love it. Anyway, sorry. No, let me wipe the drool from my mouth. Okay. So, what do we have? We don't have any starting cards for Spider-Punk, but let's have a look what we do have. So specials. Search and destroy. Move to any location with a henchman or villain, then attack there with another attack in his hand. Okay, we have Anarchy in Earth 138. So attack in up to 3 locations, wow, with civilians, then discard 1 civilian for each of those locations. Wow, okay. And 15,000 watts of punk rock. Love it. Attach a stunned token to a villain or a henchman in your location. Next villain turn, their BAM is cancelled and the token is discarded. Love it. Angry Heart. Perform as many attacks as the number of civilians in your current location. Wow, that could be truly devastating. Love that. So then we've got a double wild and a single wild. We've got heroic feat, got attack. I love the graphics on these cards, they're beautiful. Move and attack, move and attack, move and heroic feat, and an attack. I love that. Shebang! Brilliant. Okay, so who have I got left? I have got, okay, so that's my dude with a hoodie, is my guess, and that's my dude there with that. Okay, so let's do hoodie dude first. Hoodie dude is the Scarlet Spider. Okay, so this is him hanging off of a steel girder, a broken girder, I think, is what he's hanging off of with his hoodie. Do you like that hoodie? That's pretty cool. Cool. Okay, so has a starting hand card. Let's have a look. So Spiderverse. Gain 1 wild token, and as long as this card is based up in the storyline, you may discard any number of wild tokens to ignore the same amount of damage. So it's quite tasty, and you get a move with that as well. We have Great Responsibility. 2 heroic feats for each civilian rescued with a special effect at the end of your turn. Gain a wild token. Very nice. That's a move. We've got Great Power. Nice little combo, I'm guessing. So 2 attack and for each thug defeated, you gain an attack token. Okay. We've got a double wild and a single wild, and then we've got double attack. We've got the double heroic feat, move and attack, move and heroic feat, move and heroic feat, attack, and move. Yeah, so that's what we've got for Scarlet Spider. And last but not least, let's have a look. We have got Symbiote Spider-Man. Okay. Liking it. Do love that web. Done a great job on that. Fantastic. Excellent. Loving it. Okay. So, starting hand card, 1 off. Super Spider-Man. Spider Sense. Okay, as long as this card is faced with the storyline, once per villain turn, if a villain ends their movement in your location, you may immediately move to an adjacent one. Okay, Spider Sense jumps out of the way, like that. Okay, Symbiote Enhancement, you may attack twice. If you do, on your next turn, you must play your card randomly. Okay, so introducing that random, and that's we've got those special tokens in there for that random reminder. Great Responsibility. 2 heroic feats for each civilian special effect. At the end of your turn, gain a wild token. So we've seen that before. Double attack and thugs and gain thug token. Seen that before. We've got a double wild and single wild. And then we've got a move and attack. We've got a double attack. We've got a move, an attack, a move, and a heroic feat and heroic feat. Fantastic. Incredible artwork throughout, as always. Love them. Okay, so what other equipment did we gain in this box? So we have, and they are each attributed to particular heroes, not so that you can't necessarily mix and match. Okay, so we have the Scarlet Spider, web shooters. Use on your turn to move or rescue a civilian or thug from an adjacent location to your location, then turn this face down, and when it's face down, to recharge at the beginning of your turn, discard 1 action token, turn this face up. Okay, so that's how web shooter works. We have web shooters for Spider-Punk. Okay, and again, similarly, you can move or rescue at the feet of thug, your location, or similar adjacent, and at the beginning of your turn, discard action token. Okay, seeing a theme here. We also have web shooters for Superior Spider-Man, so that's what his look like there. So again, very much the same, can be charged by discarding an action token. However, Superior Spider-Man also has mechanical spider arms, of course. So use on your turn to heroic feat or attack. Then turn this face down, and when it's turned face down, you can recharge it at the beginning of your turn by discarding one action token. So very simple to use, very simple mechanics on those particular items. So we're being introduced to obviously items that are rechargeable, so you can flip them down, you can flip them back up again. We've seen items like the batteries that are non-rechargeable, so you use them once and then they're gone, that's it, they're removed from the game. So we're getting a good sense of some of those uses there that we're going to see more and more of in Season 3. Really excited to see what that's going to come. And then there are these battle plan cards, and again, forgive me, I was trying to work out how these work. One of the things I did come across that I thought was really interesting in the rulebook, at the back, the very, very last page of the rulebook, it says you can actually play with this set a complete, proper 1v1. So, one from the villain side, you know how that works now. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So you have a player playing those master plan cards. So they'll have 3 hidden, similar to the 3 and draw each time for the heroes. And they'll be choosing how to control those going out onto the storyline. However, then there is new commander set of solo rules that come with it. So the idea is you have one hero, that is the one figure that is on the board, and they're moving around the locations, but they also have the support of up to, I believe it is, 3 other heroes. And what you do is you take special cards from each of those heroes' decks, and you shuffle them together and you create a unique deck, and 2 of those will be placed face up, and that's what you can then pull from, rather than pulling from your own handful of cards to put into the storyline. Now, the rule for that is on the villain's turn, they would do their normal turn, whatever that is, so a person or normal with the game, and then you have to choose that initial turn after the villain's turn, you have to choose one of your own cards. However, then after that, the second and the subsequent turn, you can choose from your support heroes, and they have got their special cards to enable you to use them. I believe you do also get the equipment for those as well. However, the downside is anything that it says, target a hero, it's always going to be your primary hero. Those support heroes are never going to be impacted by the villain. Okay, so that's the counter of that. So what you can do now then with this is play complete total 1v1, one person being the villain, the other playing the solo play mode with the support characters, and go at it toe to toe. Really excited to see how that works. I have on occasion managed to play Marvel United with one other person, sometimes with groups of people, but yeah, really to see how that plays out. And I believe it's there in that then that these battle plan cards are where these then come into play. So there are points values on the back of the battle plan cards. So there are 1 point cards and 2 point cards. And you can choose to play 0, 1 or 2 points worth of cards. So 2 points, you can do 2 1s or a 2. And so I would suspect, I haven't looked at these yet, but I would suspect that these are different in terms of what they grant you for your ability. So they've all got unique titles, and I'm fairly sure we've seen these before in the X-Men pack. I have got all the X-Men stuff, I haven't played any of it yet. What did I play? Black Sheep? No. No, I don't think I've played any of the. No, in fact, I haven't played any of it. I was just thinking, I played the Gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet, but that is of course from Marvel United Season 1. And I've also played the Sinister Six, which likewise was from Marvel United Season 1. Okay, so I haven't played that. And then because it was called The Return of the Sinister Six, I mistakenly purchased more copies of that in my Season 3 pledge. So I'm going to be inundated with Marvel United miniatures from the Sinister Six. There you go, that's what it is. Right, which I may paint up, and if that's something you guys are interested in, what I'd be happy to do is maybe paint them up, and maybe we could do a giveaway on the channel for a brand new sealed box, and maybe a completely painted set. If that's something you're interested in, you think, oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool, let me know, leave a comment below. I can certainly see about making that happen come July when that Kickstarter comes in. Okay, so these what am I setting myself up for? We've got these battle plans. Okay, so we've got all the various titles there. So let's just have a look at this sort of high mobility. When you play your supporting hero cards, this is where it's saying about Commander solo mode, you may move your hero to the opposite location. Very good. Okay, yeah, so you get the idea how these will help you out. Whenever you take damage, you may accelerate the next villain turn by 1 card to avoid discarding your last card in your hand. Particularly useful if you're playing against that villain that when you KO, you 4 KOs and they've won the game. When you play a supporting hero card, you can forfeit all its actions and supporting effects to draw cards until you have 3 in your hand. So there's all these bonuses. So they are, again, my assumption would be the more powerful ones. And then we've got a whole number of these level 1 cards. You could take 2 of these, 1 of the others, or none at all, or any combination, just 1 of these. So when you play a sporting hero card, you can forfeit all its actions, special effects, to gain 2 wild tokens instead, better preparation. Once during each of your turns, you may forfeit a heroic feat to discard 1 crisis token. So again, you can see how these all benefit you in some way, shape or form as a means to be able to survive and positively impact what's happening in the game. Okay, so that is a lot of content, folks. Wow, I did not expect going in this level of detail, but hopefully you're finding it useful, hopefully you're finding it amusing. I'm loving this. There you go, that's good. Okay, that's what I'm here for, guys. Okay, and then we have brand new 8 locations. So I need to get these opened up, but of course, I like that. I don't think I've seen. They always have that effect. Don't know. Anyway, so we've got the new Spider-geddon logo in the top left-hand corner there. So let's hop into these locations. Try not to damage the locations. I do find it, the less cards there are in a pack, the trickier it is to open and not damage the cards. On this top, and we're in. Right. So, what have we got, folks? Let's have a look. Okay, let's start here. Oh no, let's not start there. I love that one. Okay, right. So let's start here. And this is again something new. I haven't seen this before. So Sims Tower. So this has a location ability that isn't covered by a thug card. So when you're in this location, you must, and that's what it says in the rules. If possible, you must undertake this ability, and this comes into play with 1 civvy. Okay, so this location starts with 2 heroic tokens on it. Heroes here may discard any number of heroic tokens from here to ignore the same amount of damage. Okay, so that's quite nice. And then once you remove that threat, at the end of the turn, you may take 1 heroic token from this location, or add 1 from token from the pool to this location. So it's rechargeable as well once you've cleared the threat. Like that. Okay. We've got Loom World, which we saw come up in one of the villains. Key. They would start in Loom World, so that's I can't remember his name. It's Morland. So at the end of the turn, you may move to any other location. Okay, so that's your transport. I've seen that in a number of other cards. So we've then got Japan. With a wonderful mountain escape and lots of skyscrapers. So once the turn is cleared at the end of your turn, for at least 2 empty slots in this location, you may add 2 thugs there to gain 1 token. Okay? But not a wild. Okay. We have the Great Weaver Temple. Starts with a civilian thug. And I'm noticing, I think, that there's definitely lesser, the volume of tokens that it can hold, a lot less. 3, 4, maybe. Okay, end of your turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to gain a right feat and a punch token. So that's both. Very nice. Okay. It's the Great Weaver Temple. Okay. Horizon Labs. I'm trying to remember if it was in the film. That's what it is, guys. I apologize. I'm pausing for have I seen that? I missed that. I'm really keen to get for that film to come out on streaming so I can rewatch it. Really eager to rewatch that film. Brilliant. Anyway, Horizon Labs then. So let's have a look. So this gives us at the end of your turn, you may turn face down on one of your equipment cards to recharge, turn face up any other equipment card in the game. That could be really useful. Okay. Not necessarily just your equipment. Okay. Spider Island. At the end of the turn, if there is 1 or more thugs in this location, you must take 1 damage. Ouch. You really don't want that. Okay. That's a negative. Hence they made that black. It's the first time I've seen that. I don't think I've seen a negative effect. And then the Parker Residence. So at the end of your turn, if you have 1 or 2 cards in your hand, you may draw a card. That's a healing spot. And Las Vegas, love seeing this played. Okay, so at the end of your turn, so when you've cleared the threat, if the top master plan card is not revealed, you may guess if it adds more thugs or more civilians, and then reveal it. If you guess right, you gain a wild token, and leave the card revealed, otherwise put it at the bottom of the deck. So it's a really interesting way. I love that gambling notion of just being able to interfere, if you like, with the winning deck. Fantastic. I'm loving this. There's just so much amazing content in this box. I don't think it significantly overcomplicates it. I think the original Season 1 Marvel United core box, personally, I think it was a great box. It was a great way to be able to learn the system and also get that sense of a ramp as you go from the Red Skull to Ultron to Taskmaster. Very, very different ways of interacting those. And then, of course, moving on to the X-Men. Like I say, I haven't played the X-Men stuff, but my understanding of the core box then really adds to that. Introduces the idea of being able to play the villain. So you've got those kind of the super villain aspect of that. So you can have up to 5 players and 1 v many. And now moving into Season 3, you've got that pure 1v1. So loving that idea. Fantastic. Really excited to see that play out and give it a go. And of course, then you've got these equipment cards, as well as a significant change, I think, I feel perhaps coming with the locations, just how they work and how they're able to interact with what's happening in the game. Really excited about that. Lots of new tokens, lots of new ideas coming out. The idea of moving around with the spots, the targets with the Spider-Man Noir, the Spider-Bots with Superior Spider-Man. Just fantastic content. Really excited to get this one to the table. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you've stayed with me till now, thank you always so much. I'm really excited to see this stuff play through. Really excited for the avalanche of additional content that I've got coming with season 3. And yeah, just really excited to get this stuff painted up and get it played on the table. And yeah, just thank you for joining me. I hope you found it interesting, intriguing, entertaining, enjoyable. And yeah, hopefully I will see you again soon back at the table. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.